Welcome to part 1 of the Basic Training Booster Pass Edition. Today we're going to cover everything you need to know to play Paris Promenade on 150cc. As longtime viewers of the channel probably noticed, we kind of forgot about this one for a bit, and the meta has changed in some of my earlier videos from Waluigi Bitty Buggy to Daisy, Peachette, Peach, Birdo or Yoshi, and Teddy Buggy. It's got slightly lower speed, but better handling and much higher mini turbo, which is going to help us in building up some of these super and ultra mini turbos and also allow us to get more value out of them. Now that's enough of the preamble, let's jump into the track. We're going to use a mushroom at the very start of the run by holding down the item button during the countdown. You might be surprised at this since there's a shortcut we can take that's literally right in front of us. The thing is that doing so prevents us from grabbing this coin, and as it turns out, the increased speed from that coin adds up just enough to be worth it over the course of the run. After that, we're going to build up an ultra mini turbo and a super mini turbo around the long left turn, and then we're going to trick off the glider ramp here. Now I haven't tested this out myself, but I'm like 90% sure that the reason we don't just vector here is that doing so would prevent us from grabbing multiple coins off of the ring. Ideally you want to get 3, but it's really hard to do that consistently, so as long as you get at least 2, you should be okay. Once we land from the glider, we're going to take the left-hand path. Now I'm going to be honest, this course is really straightforward from here on out, so let's take a little bit of a digression and talk about why this left path is faster for a bit, since you'd think that the two paths should be the same if this were a perfect rectangle. There's two things going on here. First of all, if you look at the mini-map, it's obviously not a perfect rectangle since the upper right corner has this little divot in it that allows us to move diagonally for a bit along a path that we will call C. If this divot weren't there, which is the scenario we encounter in the right-hand path, we'd have to go all the way around. As you can see, we end up with this little triangle shape here, with the longest side being C. Now, even though this is the longest side, as anyone who's taken high school geometry will know, this is going to be shorter than the sum of the two other sides. Now that's not the only thing that makes the left path faster though. If we were to take the right-hand path, then we'd encounter this little roundabout with a gigantic piranha plant sitting on top of it that we'd have to navigate around. We can completely avoid this in the left-hand path, instead drifting right around the inside of the turn like so. Therefore, left path faster. I wasn't joking when I said this track is straightforward though. We're going to hold this drift to grab the coins and then get an ultra mini turbo before starting another drift and moving on to lap 2. And then lap 2 is basically the exact same thing as lap 1, except now we're going to take the mushroom shortcut. You're supposed to be able to trick here, but for some reason it just doesn't work 50% of the time, and I honestly couldn't be bothered to spend any more time on this track because it's just so long. Fortunately, lap 3 does spice things up a bit though, since we're going to now be playing through the entire track backwards. There's not a lot of weirdness to pay attention to here though. 2 super mini turbos is faster than an ultra mini turbo, so that's what we're going to do around this first right turn. And then when we get to the split paths, we're going to take the right path for the same reasons we did on laps 1 and 2. Once we're through, we're going to go off the glider, and one thing that might not be super obvious here is that you can actually trick off the ramp going backwards, which is pretty cool. And the timing's also not that tight either. Finally, we're going to finish up the run by taking the mushroom shortcut. The world record is more or less the same as my own run, so let's talk about the track a bit more while checking out my current personal best. And as always, if you found anything helpful or interesting in this video, it'd really help me out if you could click the thumbs up button so that it can get spread to more people. Thanks for that, I really do appreciate it. Now, Paris Promenade. I don't think it's a mistake that this was the first course most people played in the Booster Course Pass, because it seems like a run-of-the-mill circuit-style course until you're forced to go backwards on lap 3. This was like all my friend group could talk about when we first ran through Wave 1 together, and I remember this being a big point of praise early on in Wave 1's life cycle outside of my friend group as well. In that sense, Paris Promenade was really a kick-ass way to start the Booster Course Pass. However, as they say, hindsight is 20/20, and after 2 years and many much more interesting implementations of the lap-changing mechanic, Paris's lap 3 gimmick is really just that to me now, more of a gimmick than anything else. That doesn't make it bad, of course, just not as interesting as I used to think it was. Now, what does make the course kinda bad is how long it is, given that it offers very little in the way of advanced strategies and shortcuts. You're really not doing a lot in this course, and there's only one shortcut that's so minor that literally one extra coin makes up the difference. Maybe bad is too strong a word to describe the track, but it's definitely one of the weaker city courses when you compare it to tracks like Sydney Sprint, Rome Avanti, or Athens Dash. Anyway, I've already said everything I could possibly want to say about this track, so enjoy the run and I will catch you all in the outro. And that's everything you need to know to play Paris Promenade on 150cc. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my upcoming tutorials, or the videos that I have planned after that. Hint, hint. Thank you all very much for taking the time out of your day to do some basic training, and as always, I will see you in the next video.